When my 17-year-old daughter, Lily, was banned from my sister's wedding, I didn't argue. I didn't beg for an exception or try to reason with anyone. I simply said, "We won't be attending." And that was it. My name is Charlotte Miller. I'm 39, a nurse practitioner living in Vermont, and I've been Lily's mom since she was 3. She came into my life with large, quiet eyes that seemed to take in everything around her. She didn't talk much at first, just observed, as if she were still deciding whether the world was a safe place. The first time she called me mom, I cried alone in the car after preschool drop-off. It meant everything to me. From the very beginning, I promised her she would never feel unwanted in my family again. I believed I was keeping that promise until the wedding. My younger sister, Brittany, got engaged last spring. Big announcement, massive ring, and an Instagram caption that sounded like it belonged in a bridal magazine. I congratulated her, of course. Lily even made her a card by hand, complete with paper bells, glitter, and so much care it made my heart ache. Brittany smiled when she received it, said it was sweet, then tossed it into the back seat of her car. I found it weeks later, half crushed beneath a fast food wrapper. Still, Lily stayed excited. She looked up dresses online, asked whether she should wear her hair up or down, wondered if she'd get to help with decorations. I could see how hopeful she was, nervous, but hopeful. Then the invitation arrived. It was one of those thick, glossy envelopes with gold trim. I opened it at the kitchen counter while Lily worked on homework at the table. It listed the usual details: date, time, dress code. Then my eyes landed on the line that changed everything. Adults only, 18 and over, strictly enforced, no exceptions. I read it twice. Lily must have noticed my expression because she looked up and asked, "She doesn't want me there." I replied, "It's an 18 and over wedding." My voice stayed calm, but my hands were shaking. She was quiet for a moment, then asked, "Is it because I'm adopted?" That question cracked something deep inside me. She didn't say it with tears or anger, just a flat, exhausted tone, like it was something she'd suspected for a long time. I told her, "No, absolutely not." But I knew what she meant. I understood exactly what she meant. That wasn't the first time Lily had been made to feel like an outsider. It wasn't always obvious. There was no yelling or cruel language. It showed up in smaller, quieter ways, like when my mom referred to Lily as Charlotte's girl instead of using her name, or when Brittany said, "Your daughter," as if Lily were some neighbor's kid tagging along, not her niece. I kept hoping it was unintentional, that they were still adjusting, that if I explained enough, smiled enough, stayed patient enough, they would come around. But the signs kept stacking up. There was the time we arrived at a family dinner and Lily offered to help in the kitchen. No one acknowledged her. Not a single word. She stood near the sink holding a plate of vegetables, unsure of what to do. Or Easter at my parents' house, when every grandchild received a personalized basket with their name on it, except Lily's. Hers simply said "Happy Spring" in generic, playful letters.
She didn't complain.
She just held it and smiled politely, the way she always did. The first time I saw her truly hurt was when she drew a picture of our family, me, her, and my husband, Eric, and gave it to my mom. It was a sweet drawing with bright colors and tiny hearts. My mom said, "Thank you," set it on the table and moved on. Later that day, Lily asked why it wasn't on the fridge like her cousin's drawings. I didn't have an answer. I wanted to believe they didn't realize how they were making her feel, but over time, I understood that wasn't true. When Lily was 6, she told my dad she wanted to be an artist. He chuckled and said she'd need to think about something more practical. When she was 8, she wanted to help plan a family event and Brittany told her, "That's cute, but maybe let the adults handle it." It was constant. Not aggressive, not loud, just dismissive, and always enough to make Lily second-guess herself. I kept thinking I could fix it by showing up, by including them in her birthdays, her school plays, her life. But the more we showed up, the clearer it became. They never fully accepted that Lily was here to stay. Part of them, I think, still believed I would eventually have a biological child of my own. That Lily was just a temporary chapter, a kind of generous gesture they could admire from a distance. As if one day they'd say, "Remember when Charlotte fostered that sweet little girl?" They never said it out loud. They didn't have to. And the wedding invitation confirmed it. It wasn't just a formality. It was a line drawn in the sand. A message. She's not really part of us. Not where it counts. I didn't respond to the invitation. I didn't call Brittany or try to explain myself. I simply went online and clicked not attending. No explanation. Just no. The next day, my phone lit up with a message from her. Hey, just saw your RSVP. Is everything okay? Then another one followed. If this is about the age thing, I hope you understand. We're being super consistent with everyone. Nothing personal, right? Nothing personal. Except it was. Lily wasn't some distant relative. She wasn't a coworker's child or someone's plus one. She was Brittany's niece. She was my daughter. She was 17, not 7. She had made a card, chosen a dress, asked about hairstyles. She wanted to be part of it. And now all of that was being brushed aside as a technicality. I didn't reply. A few hours later, my younger sister Melissa messaged me. Tessa said you're not coming. What's going on? Then my mother called. She never calls unless something is wrong, so I answered with a sinking feeling. Charlotte, she said, I heard you're not going to the wedding. Is this really about the age limit? I said, Lily wasn't invited. I'm not going without her. She's almost 18. There was a pause. Then my mom said, it's not like she's a little kid. She's family. I waited. She didn't say anything else. No apology. No acknowledgement of how Lily might feel. Don't punish your sister over this, she added. It's one night. I didn't argue. I just said, we're not going, and hung up. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. The group chat started buzzing. First Melissa. I can't believe you're making such a big deal over one rule. You always have to cause drama. Then Brittany. This isn't about Lily. You're making it about her. And finally my mom, with a long paragraph about forgiveness, family unity, and how hard it is to be stuck in the middle. Meanwhile, Lily deleted the dress photos from her phone. She didn't cry. She quietly erased them, like they no longer mattered, like she had expected this all along. And more than the wedding, more than the messages, that's what hurt the most. She wasn't surprised. She had already learned what I spent too long trying not to see. They never truly saw her. And deep down, she knew it. Time passed. The wedding came and went. No one apologized. No one brought it up. It was as if they expected everything to return to normal, as if Lily's exclusion was a small hiccup, not a deep wound. Then December arrived. Every year, I hosted Christmas. That was the tradition. I cooked. I cleaned. I bought extra folding chairs and pulled the big table leaf out of the garage. I did it even when I was exhausted. Even when I didn't feel like celebrating.
Not this time.
I didn't send invitations. I didn't start the group chat. I didn't plan anything. When my husband, Eric, asked, should I go ahead and order the chairs? I shook my head. No extra seats this year, I said. He didn't ask questions. Lily didn't either. They both understood, but the silence lingered. By mid-December, the messages started coming. Melissa wrote, hey, are we still doing Christmas Eve dinner at your place? Let me know what I should bring. Then Brittany. Of course we'll be 5 again. Let me know if Lily wants anything special this year. If she's even going to be there this time. That one nearly broke me. If she's even going to be there this time, as if Lily had chosen to skip the wedding. As if her absence had been a teenage tantrum instead of a deliberate exclusion. I didn't respond. Not to that, not to any of it. For the first time in years, I didn't scrub the floors, decorate the mantel, or stock up on wine.
I didn't pretend.
I didn't perform. When they didn't hear back, they started calling. First my mom. I let it ring. Then Melissa. Then Brittany. Eventually, my dad left a voicemail. Charlotte, we just want to know what's going on. Your mother's upset. It's not too late to do the right thing. The right thing. As if the right thing meant welcoming people who had excluded my daughter. As if serving them dinner would erase pain they never acknowledged. So no, we didn't host anyone that Christmas. Instead, we made lasagna in our pajamas. Lily baked sugar cookies in strange little shapes that barely held together. We watched movies. We laughed. We opened presents early. No one walked on eggshells. No one translated passive-aggressive comments. No one went quiet when Lily entered the room. It was calm, peaceful, complete. And that's when something finally clicked for me. For years, I had mistaken tradition for love. I had confused obligation with real connection. I believed that hosting meant I mattered, that being the one who held everything together made me part of something meaningful. But that Christmas, without the noise, the pretending, and the weight of forced togetherness, I saw the truth. Peace isn't quiet because nothing is wrong. It's quiet because nothing is being ignored. A few days after Christmas, it happened. Lily was curled up on the couch under her favorite blanket, sketching in her notebook. Drawing was how she processed things that were too heavy for words, people, emotions, moments she didn't know how to name. I was folding laundry nearby when she paused, her pencil hovering midair. Without looking up, she asked, "If I wasn't adopted, do you think they'd like me more?" My hand stopped. The question landed with a weight I wasn't prepared for. I sat beside her and said gently, "Sweetheart, they might have pretended better. But the way they treat people who aren't like them was never about you." She looked at me then with those same big, serious eyes she'd had the day I first met her. Eyes that always seemed older than her years, eyes that saw more than people realized. "I don't think I want them to like me anymore," she said. There was no bitterness in her voice. No anger. Just calm certainty, like a decision made to protect her heart. That was the moment I stopped waiting for an apology. I had spent so long trying to keep the peace, making excuses, believing they would change if I stayed kind, stayed patient, stayed small. But my daughter wasn't small. She was strong. She was clear. And if she had the courage to set a boundary, then I had the courage to stand behind it. A few days later, my father called again. I didn't answer. He texted instead. "Your mother isn't sleeping. She feels like she's lost you. We know we messed up, but that doesn't justify shutting everyone out. That's not who you are." I stared at that message for a long time. That's not who you are. For years, I had wondered the same thing. I questioned whether I was being too harsh, too sensitive, too distant. But I know now, this is who I am. I'm someone who finally understands what she will and won't accept. I'm someone who knows that keeping the peace at the cost of her child's dignity isn't love. It's fear disguised as loyalty. And I'm done being afraid. Then came the final blow. A voice message from Brittany. One of those carefully measured recordings where every word sounds kind, but each sentence cuts deep. She said she thought it was sad that I always talked about how much I loved Lily, but now it seemed like I was using her as a shield. That anytime someone didn't treat her like royalty, I cut them off. That it wasn't healthy. That it wasn't parenting. That it was obsession. I didn't listen to the rest. I deleted the message and blocked her number. Because if loving Lily fiercely, fully, and without apology is considered obsession, then so be it. Yes, I am obsessed. I am obsessed with showing my daughter she deserves to be included. That she never has to earn love by being quiet, polite, or easy to overlook. That she should never confuse tolerance with acceptance. I am obsessed with protecting the one person who needed me most. The one who never got the benefit of the doubt. The one who had to prove she belonged in a family that claimed to love her, but never showed her how. And no, I don't regret it. I regret the years I stayed silent. The holidays I hosted people who treated her like a guest in her own home. The birthdays where she smiled while others barely noticed her. The thank yous she gave to people who never learned her favorite color, her interests, her laugh. I regret every moment I chose keeping the peace over standing up for her. But not anymore. Lily doesn't ask for much. She never has. What she needs, what she has always needed, is a mother who chooses her every single time. And that is exactly who I am. I'm not the keeper of family traditions. I'm not the peace negotiator, the event planner, the one who smooths things over so everyone else stays comfortable. I'm Lily's mom. And if that means closing the door on people who can't see her worth, then I will close it gently, quietly, and for good. Because this isn't about revenge. It's about love. Love that doesn't shrink. Love that doesn't apologize for existing. Love that says you matter. And I will never let anyone make you feel otherwise. The new year arrived quietly. No countdown. No noise. Just the three of us, me, Eric, and Lily, sitting by the fireplace, playing a board game she got for Christmas, laughing at how terrible we all were at it. And in that stillness, I finally felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. I wasn't waiting anymore. Not for the next text, the next subtle dig, the next awkward dinner. I wasn't planning how to manage the emotions of people who had made my daughter feel invisible. I was simply living with my family, my real family. Looking back, there were so many moments when I could have spoken up sooner, louder. But healing doesn't always come with a grand speech. Sometimes it arrives through one small change, like saying no, like not setting out extra chairs, like allowing silence to speak for itself. And when I think about Lily's question, do you think they'd like me more if I wasn't adopted? I still feel the weight of it. But I'm proud of her answer. I don't think I want them to like me anymore. That wasn't bitterness. That was clarity. That was her learning the most important lesson I could ever teach her. That love isn't supposed to hurt. That it doesn't ask you to earn your place. That it doesn't disappear when you make people uncomfortable simply by existing. So if you're listening to this and you've been there, if you've ever had to choose between peace and pretending, know this. It's okay to choose peace. It's okay to stop explaining. It's okay to stop hoping they'll change. And it's okay to protect your child, your heart, your peace, even if that means disappointing everyone else. Because the truth is, love that asks you to shrink isn't love at all. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you've ever stood your ground for someone you love, tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, sometimes silence is the loudest, most powerful truth you can give.